Okay, guys, be cool. Don't get ahead of me here, okay? As president of the LOC Board of Directors, I now call to order the 2019 League of Oregon Cities Annual Business Meeting. Please join me in saluting the flag. Right behind you here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. As we begin, I want to take a moment to recognize and thank our sponsors of this morning's business meeting breakfast: City, County Insurance Services, and Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield. Thank you. The generosity of our sponsors brings value to our conference and supports our speakers and our award program. Please join me in welcoming CIS Executive Director Patrick Priest to the stage. Patrick.
Thank you very much, President Evans. And thank you everyone here. CIS really enjoys coming to the LOC conference. All but 4 cities have CIS coverage of some type. So it's really coming to work with our members. You know, we sponsor the conference, but we're really governed and owned by LOC. So it's kind of a weird dynamic. And I'll talk about that in my speech. It's really a partnership. I wanted to highlight a couple of our CIS staff that are here. Kirk Mylander, our general counsel, who really specializes in training elected officials and goes around the state each year. And Pam Bowles, who's here, and she's on our hire to retire team. Employment claims being the #1 type of claim she handles and helps people to deal with those issues. So thank you very much for getting up early and coming and listening to me give this speech. So without further ado, I'll deliver that. As we were preparing for this year's LOC conference, I met with LOC's Executive Director, Mike Cully, and his Communication Director, Kevin Toon. We talked about the logistics for this week's conference, but the biggest takeaway for me was how much LOC values our longstanding partnership. At the end of this meeting, Mike Cully said it best: we are one. We got our start because of LOC. It started when LOC saw the need for bringing great health insurance coverage to their members back in 1958. These visionary leaders saw the advantage of pooling their dollars to purchase coverage to fit their specific needs. CIS didn't exist yet, so LOC worked directly with Regents to fill that important need and has continued to do so through CIS for over 60 years. LOC also came up with the concept of pooling your money into a trust that would meet not only your needs for employee benefits, but also for your property, liability, and workers' compensation needs. LOC founded us in 1981 when the insurance crisis was really hurting cities. This was a tough time for cities to get coverage, and when they could get it, it was very expensive. Because New York City was in deep financial trouble, that trouble was affecting cities all across America. All cities were affected, large and small. What brought the crisis home here in Oregon was the small city of Ventura in eastern Oregon. This city had to disincorporate after its insurance premiums were higher than the amount it collected in taxes. Both cities and counties were affected, and the need to find a solution was great. Many of them found themselves without access to liability coverage. While there were task forces created to seek the best approach, LOC and the Association of Counties were taking a leadership role in creating a better future for their members. They found the solution by approaching the legislature to allow cities and counties to join together to self-insure for liability exposures. And then in 1985, LOC members were rocked again by another insurance crisis. That's when our liability coverage became self-insured. Workers' compensation followed a year later, and property became self-insured in 1990. LOC was instrumental in creating these coverages to bring savings, stability, and service to their members. It's easy to see why CIS would be successful during times when insurance was hard to obtain. But why have we stood the test of time? I think it's because of the level of service CIS brings to its cities. It's common for us to hear that we're a lot like family. We stand shoulder to shoulder with you in good times and in bad. It's as much about the people at CIS and the service that we provide as it is about the quality of our coverage. Also, CIS has been consistently governed by city and county representatives who've made certain that insurance coverages and rates were fair. And as the needs of cities has changed over the decades, so have we. We also serve you by having strong financial reserves. These reserves help stabilize your rates. LOC and CIS have proven that risk management and risk financing is something we can do better together rather than going it alone. When you pool your risk with others, you receive better coverage. In a pool, levels of deductibles, coverage, and various insurance and risk management terms can be developed to suit your needs. We have greater latitude to decide on the risk exposures than what might be available in commercial insurance. Our core mission is to make sure insurance coverages are consistently available at competitive rates, no matter what's happening in the insurance market. Plus, we have broad coverages that are unique to your city. More stable coverage. All LLC members, not just those with CIS, have benefited from our presence in the insurance market. The commercial market has had to compete with us to maintain rather than reduce coverage. And we're generally not as prone to react to swings in commercial market pricing. Management and administrative services. We select providers in each service area and can choose from the best qualified to provide specific services, including our partners with Regents. Broad range of services. We have an extremely broad mandate to help you manage risk. We define risk as a possible loss or other adverse event that has the potential to interfere with your city's financial stability or your ability to fulfill your mission. We focus on what benefits the pool as a whole. We also address the specific needs of individual members for tailored advice and assistance. Improved cash management and investment earnings. Our pool can accommodate different flows of funds and financial objectives. We can adjust contribution payment schedules and invest pool reserves to benefit your city, often at rates of return better than individual members can obtain. Without a profit motive, we can and have used investment earnings and surplus funds to offset our operating expenses or poor loss performance or reduce future rate increases. Understandable costs of coverage. Pool members are more readily able to understand and link contribution changes, be they up or down, to specific causes such as poor loss experience, changes in your insured exposures, increases in reinsurance rates, or changes in Oregon's legal environment. And lastly, better risk management. We help our members identify priorities for cost-effective risk management through the development and implementation of individually tailored risk management plans. The bottom line, when you choose CIS, you're not only getting great coverage at a good value, you're also helping LOC. LOC founded us in 1981, and they govern us to this day. That means they approve our plan designs and set our rates for all the coverages that we offer. We value our partnership with LOC so much that we contribute over $1 million a year to their ongoing funds. They do such important work on your behalf. It's invaluable. We're very proud of our partnership with LOC and with Regents, continuing the 60-year relationship these organizations have maintained. When you choose CIS benefits, you're helping LOC, but just as important, you're helping your own staff. We can reduce your team's workload and your budget by offering value-added services at no additional charge. Cities like our popular services, like our Employee Assistance Program, administration of healthcare and dependent care, flexible spending plans, COBRA and retiree administration, billing and collection services, financial and logistical support for your worksite wellness activities, support for GASB 75 valuation services to help you comply with those accounting requirements, online enrollment services with 24/7 access for you and your employees, and online billing and payment services. You can pay from your local government investment pool or other account. In closing, we deeply value our partnership with LOC. They founded us and they govern us to this very day. LOC wanted to create an organization that would make insurance coverages consistently available at competitive rates. They wanted to create an organization that could withstand all sorts of market conditions. And they wanted to bring valuable and broad coverages to their member cities. Together, we've done just that. Mike Cully was right when he said, "We are one." Thank you very much to all of you, and thanks for the time.
Thank you again, Patrick. Our next item of business is the consent calendar, which includes two items: the treasurer's report and the minutes of the September 29, 2018 annual business meeting. These items are available in the agenda packet placed on tables throughout the room and on the LOC website. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar? Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion passes. Okay. Our next order of business is the election of the 2020 officers and directors to serve on the LOC board. Under the LOC's constitution and bylaws, each member city is allowed one vote and has designated one individual to serve as the voting delegate for that city. Each voting delegate should have checked in and received a voting card this morning when entering the room. The LOC bylaws and constitution provide for a 16-member board, which consists of 4 officer positions and 12 directors. 3 of the directors are city managers, of which 1 is a non-voting member. Under the bylaws, the current treasurer automatically assumes the position of vice president in the year following service as the treasurer. The vice president automatically assumes the position of president in the year following service. And the president automatically assumes office of immediate past president. In addition, the city manager in the non-voting position automatically assumes one of the voting positions reserved for a city manager. Directors serve staggered 3-year terms, which means terms of 4 directors, including 1 city-appointed official, expire at the end of 2019. It is those positions, along with the positions of treasurer, that we will be voting on today. Under the LOC bylaws, a nominating committee chaired by the board's immediate past president is formed to submit to the membership a slate of candidates to fill the open board positions. This year's nominating committee consisted of Chair Tim Slater, North Bend, Mayor Pete Truax, Forest Grove, Mayor Christine Lundberg, Springfield, City Councilor Paul Chalmers, Pendleton, and Betty Taylor, City Councilor, Eugene. Please join me in thanking the members of the committee. And now I'd like to ask Councilor Tim Slater to come to the podium to provide the nominating committee report to the members. Tim?
Thanks, Greg, and good morning to all. I'll have to say, you've seen a lot of changes in LOC this past year, and they've been very positive. There's a terrific inertia of motion, and that was well reflected in the number of qualified candidates and interested people that we had. Lots of people, excellent people, were put forth for all of the roles that were in front of us. So I think that bodes well for the organization, and we've got spots for you. Our proposed list of candidates, or our list of candidates from the nominating committee, are immediate past president Greg Evans, president Jake Boone, vice president Keith Mays, voting director Scott Derrickson, treasurer Tania Browning, director Amanda Fritz, director Dean Sawyer, director Kevin Stein, and director Byron Smith. And I would move approval of the slate of candidates. Thank you. You call or I call for them? Okay. Are there any other nominations from the floor at this time? Hearing none. Now you got your little voter card, because if you don't have your card, you don't count, okay? All those in favor, please raise your card for the nom. Thank you. All opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
I don't think we really need to. I think that, I think it's pretty unanimous there, so, okay. All right. Okay, so please join me in congratulating our new slate of officers and directors. So here's the part where I'm supposed to give the president's speech. And I, time to time, have written speeches out, and they haven't gone very well. So I'm better at being an impromptu speaker, so I have a few notes and a few things that I want to touch on this morning, and then I'm going to get off the stage so that we can move the meeting forward. I want to start out by, recognizing and thanking our executive director, Mike Cully, for the leadership that he has provided for this organization. The League is a healthy, vibrant, robust organization that is doing great things, doing big things, and we are more effective now than I think that we have ever been before. Mike's leadership has been over a very short time, but there have been significant changes made within the course of the leadership of the organization that have been really positive. I think you can see that from the organization of this conference and the hard work that the staff has done in putting this conference on. I want to really recognize and thank Mike and the staff. Thank you. In addition to that, LOC is a financially sound organization. The financial stewardship here has been absolutely amazing. We have also been an even more stronger presence in the state capitol. And I'd like to recognize our legislative director, Jim McCauley, and his legislative team for all of the fantastic hard work they put in the 2019 session. Jim, stand up, take a bow. So I'm going to deviate a little bit. The 2019 session, to be perfectly honest with you, did not really turn out for a few issues the way that we wanted it to turn out. But on balance, we were able to support and get through some of the key legislative initiatives that have been supported by the League. And so We are successful. We're working hard to make sure that local control stays in the hands of our cities, despite what the legislature does. So, again, we are constantly working on the issue of local preemption, and we will continue to do that and be vigilant and aggressive in doing that. In addition to what we have done on the state level, Mike has really brought us out and led us to a really great place on the national stage. We have a significant increase in our relationships with our congressional leaders. All 5 of our congressmen and our U.S. senators, we are close contact and in touch with, and we are really prominent now in the National League of Cities. If you are not a member of the National League of Cities, please consider joining. It is critical for us to have a strong presence in Washington, and now we really do have that presence. I've been back to D.C. a number of times, and we are really leading the way in this country among state municipal leagues. And that's in large part due to what Mike Culley and Jim McCauley have done on our legislative front with the federal campaign. So again, thank you guys. And the final thing I want to touch on this morning is this. Recently, and one of the initiatives that I have initiated and am leading and will continue to lead as your past president is the development of an equity, access, and inclusion tool for the League of Oregon Cities. We will be the first state league in the country to institute an Equity Lens model and tool. Now, many of you may say, what is an Equity Lens? What is an Equity Lens tool? It is a way for us to be more inclusive as an organization. This state is becoming more diverse every day. You see it in your cities. You see the demographic changes. More and more people of color are coming here. More people with diverse backgrounds are coming here. There are people who have been here for many generations and many years, as well as elected officials. Are you seeing them all around the room that have been involved in LOC? We want you to be more involved in LOC. We want you to be involved in the leadership of LOC. If you can see what we have up here on the dais, we have one woman, okay? We need more women. Yes. And stating the obvious, I think we need a few more people of color, too. And we're not just talking about diversity in ethnicity and in gender, but we're also talking about regional diversity. One of the things that the LOC staff initiated this year are the regional conferences, which started in Ashland in April. Those conferences are going to be rolling out. We will be in Pendleton next year. We are going to be going throughout the state to extend our reach to small cities, and we're going to be encouraging more of our small cities to getting involved in the leadership of the LOC. So that is part of the Equity Lens too. So you'll be hearing more about this as we move forward. We have a subcommittee that we assigned to this task, and that committee includes Mayor Pete Truax of Forest Grove, Commissioner Amanda Fritz of Portland, and Mayor Dave Drotzman of Hermiston and myself. And so we will be moving forward with this initiative, and this also can be a moneymaker for us too, because we're going to go around the country and teach other state leagues how to do this. Okay? Oregon's always first with something. Bottle bill, all of that. So we're going to continue that. So with that, I'm going to conclude my remarks. It has been a great year for me to be the leader of this organization. I really appreciate all of your support. And again, thank you for giving me the honor to be your president. Our next agenda item is the recognition of outgoing members of the board. And let me just go here, because we had some edits here, so some people are not going to be going off the board yet. So just bear with me. I'd like to recognize Silverton City Manager Christy Worcester. Christy. Thank you for your service, Christy. This is a little awkward because we were supposed to have awards for all of our outgoing members, and we don't have all of the plaques here. So Christy is going to get hers later in Silverton. Yeah. I'm not sure. I also recognize Hermiston Mayor Dave Drotzman. Do we have something for Dave? Yes, come on up, Dave. I would ask you to say something, but that's not in the script. And also to recognize my good friend, North Bend City Councilor and Media Past President, Tim Slater. Now we will move on to item G on the agenda. Oh, we got something for you, huh?
What?
Oh, you got something already.
Well, I got something for you.
Okay.
Well, now step over here.
All right.
Stand up.
I'm standing, Tim. I'm standing.
Oh, okay. Wait, you couldn't pass that up. Greg's been a terrific leader, especially in this renaissance of LOC that we have in front of us. He's worked in the National League of Cities issues for a long time. And what we have found in what he does in his leadership is to come up with results and not really care who gets all the recognition for what happens. And that's realistically what I know all of you are here for. How do you make your city better? How do you put things together? How do we share what's going on here to make things happen? Greg's been a terrific leader in that way. We've appreciated all his work and all his focus and his continued. And that's something I'd say to you. Whether you're an officer or not, there is a role for you within LOC to make our cities better. So thank you very much, Greg.
Thank you, Tim.
And be very careful that falls off.
Thank you, Tim. I really appreciate that. Now we will move on to item G on the agenda, the report to members, which will be provided by our Executive Director, Mike Cully. Mike?
So we're a half hour ahead of schedule. Does that mean I get more time? I hear the applause. Well, thank you everybody for attending today's meeting. This is really great to see everybody out there, and I'm really pleased to be here. Like President Evans, I don't have prepared remarks. I do have a short PowerPoint. My presentation is 5 minutes. But first of all, I just want to thank all of our leadership, our directors, and if you couldn't tell already, we genuinely like each other. Our staff, The directors, we honestly get along, and that's why this is working. We are definitely in a renaissance. I think that's a good word. The league has changed. We're continuing to change. We are moving mountains. We are doing great things, and we're all doing it for you. And we do it for you because we have a passion. And I've heard my name invoked several times today, but it's not me. It's everyone. It's the staff especially. So they're carrying the water on this. This conference wouldn't have happened without them. I get to sit up here under the spotlight, but they have done all the work, and I really want to thank my staff because they're amazing people, so thank you. And the board, again, I wouldn't be standing up here without their vision. They gave me an opportunity to come in here and show, what I was made of and what this organization could be, and we are really making waves in the nation, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to go to Washington and be recognized. It's a lot of fun to be called out for all the great things that we're doing and how we're modeling the way in so many different areas in the nation. So it's really great. My presentation here is on the, hopefully it'll pop up there. There you go. So we're going to talk about what's new in LOC in 2019. So first and foremost, we have a new vision and purpose. We knew immediately that we didn't want to be just a stagnant organization, that we didn't want to be that entity that was in Salem and that it was ambiguous in mission and didn't have a purpose. We really changed that. We really focused our efforts, focused our mission and message, and it's a big change for the whole organization. Our purpose is solid. We are here to serve cities, and we love what we do. And it's that passion that's making a difference, and I hope you see it. We have a new brand. With all the changes that we've gone through, I think you see our new logo there. That was intentional. It's very business-like. It comes out that we mean business. We want to get out there. That little tulip isn't really a tulip. It means the oceans and the valleys, the mountains, and the deserts. So it has purpose. But I think it makes a statement. It really makes us look very business-like. The new website, wow, what can I say about that? It was a year in the making. It was one of the first things that we tackled when I came into my position. We knew we needed to wipe out that one that was 25 years old, and this new one, I think, if you haven't been on there, get on there because it's got the resources that you're looking for, the model ordinances, everything in there that you want to see, hopefully, is in there, and if it's not, we're still building on it. New member outreach channels. You're seeing we're doing a lot more outreach using social media, but we're keeping the same traditional formats that we've had in the past. For those of you who like the paper materials, we're still doing all that, but we're really trying to get out there with our message a lot more and talk to you, and even more so listen to you so that we're making effective changes. And those changes come in the form of the programming. The programming, I think you've seen, we're doing so much more in terms of regionalizing our efforts. We're getting out there. Again, we're not just staying in Salem, but we're really moving across the state. That is one of the pleasures of my life, is getting out and meeting with you, our members, and going to the small city meetings. That is so much fun, but it's such a learning opportunity for us. And I take back what you say, and I really do. And we put that into our programming, and I think you're seeing that happen now. This part, which our president just spoke quite a bit on, is so important. We are modeling the way in the nation, and it's something that's critically important. And it's not just getting gender diversity and ethnic diversity, but it's about making this a welcoming organization for everybody in the state, for every city, that we are not the League of Portland Cities or the League of the Willamette Valley. We are the League of Oregon Cities. We represent every single city, and that is important to us. It's important that we fulfill that mission. So something that we're doing. LOC by the numbers. This is on a whim. I had to put this together, but since the beginning of the year, we've answered 280 member inquiries. Those are coming in on the phones, people calling in, emails, things of that nature. 22 trainings. So we're short-staffed. We're addressing that, but 22 trainings with 17 team members, that's pretty darn good. We're out throughout the state doing all kinds of training for elected officials, and all the kind of stuff you want to see. 36 small city meetings with 540 attendees, 66,000 website page views. That's since June, I believe, so that's a huge number. And this, Jim McCauley, 1,266 bills tracked during session. That's huge, huge number. So our focus going forward, continue to regionalize efforts, provide access to and serve all 241 cities, collaborate with like-minded stakeholders, and be the champion, catalyst, and convener. We mean that. We mean business. We're not going to stop. Again, we're having fun doing what we're doing, and I appreciate the leadership up here on the stage, and I appreciate all of you. And we do listen. So if you reach out to us, if you reach out to me, you know you'll get a return phone call. You know we'll answer your email. It means a lot. So communicate with us. Finally, the bylaws update. Be on the lookout for a survey about potential changes to the LOC bylaws in the coming months. We just want you to answer these questions when you see it in the email, and that's about all we're asking from you. So that's it. I'm done. I hopefully stuck within my 5 minutes, my contact information, and I'm out.
You see how efficient we are? We're way ahead of time. So thank you, Mike. Now we will move on to our next update from Mike Nelson of the National League of Cities. Mike, would you come to the stage?
I'm Mike Cully. Mike is actually, he's here, but he's sick. I just got a text. So he is not able to come. But with regards to the National League of Cities, Mike is our Western Regional Rep. He's in charge of 13 states. But his focus is squarely on Oregon, which is amazing. If you haven't met him, he's really going to try to be in all the communities, especially Eastern Oregon is where his focus is right now, and we'll be moving through the state. So I'm going to apologize on behalf of Mike Nelson, but he is in bed over there across the street, unfortunately. So, but they are a great partner with us, and again, we're going to go back and see him, I think, on the 20th of this month. So.
All right, stay with me now. The next item on our agenda is the incoming president's message. This will be provided by Councilor Jake Boone from the city of Cottage Grove, and he is significantly taller than I am.
Hi, everybody. Hi. So I know that on the agenda, we're scheduled to be out of here by 9:25. I'm going to do my best to not be too far over that mark. So I need to start off by congratulating the Oregon Mayors Association, who, if I remember correctly, I've slept since then, have, is it 211 mayors now members of the OMA? They have increased their membership just immensely to, I think, a higher number that's ever been before. Is that right? So if you are one of the few remaining holdout mayors, you might think about joining, because if you join, then you are like the really important person because you just broke the record. And that's pretty cool. So I'd like to get a little round of applause for the OMA for all the work they've been doing. So I want to tell you about who I am. You've seen some of it this weekend, and I cannot apologize enough. But first I want to say, I know there's at least one or two other Jakes in the room. If you're a Jake, can you just raise your hand, wave it around some, so that I know there's one back here. I can only kind of see because of these lights, but okay. So I just want to apologize in advance because after I tell this story, you might get tarred by association. I'm not sure. So I want to tell you about when I first entered public service, when I first joined the Cottage Grove City Council. I was a citizen. I had no background in local government. But what I had was an overabundance of hubris. I read the newspaper. I thought the city council was making stupid decisions, and I could do it a lot better. So when the election came around, I marched down to City Hall. I filled out my form. I paid my $15. The person who was in the seat that I was running for, Tom Monroe, retired that year, so he wasn't running again, and nobody else bothered to fill out a form. And so I won the election. It was very exciting. I got into office, and I was full of ideas because I could see all these stupid things our city was doing, and the solutions were so simple. But apparently it took someone as smart as me to spot them. For example, Cottage Grove owns a municipal golf course. I thought, this is stupid. Why does a city own a municipal golf course? That should be privatized. The city should be focusing on things like paving streets and providing fresh water to drink and taking care of sewage and things like that. And so I shot off my mouth about it at great length. Then came to discover, thanks largely to some very patient and kind tutelage by my city manager, Richard Myers, that the reason the city of Cottage Grove owns a municipal golf course is because when our wastewater system is all done treating the wastewater, it's just a couple of degrees warmer than the DEQ will allow us to dump back in the river. So our options were spend a couple $1 million building a big old cooling tower, or spend significantly less than that just buying the golf course next door to the wastewater plant so we could irrigate it with that water, which the DEQ is totally fine with. So it turns out that golf course that I thought was frivolous is an integral part of our wastewater treatment system that you can also golf on. And this is when I started the long process of realizing everything is more complicated than I think it is. And this has stuck with me throughout. If there's one lesson I could give to all new city councilors coming in, people who followed my same path of thinking I'm smarter than everyone, and thinking I know all the answers, everything is more complicated than I think it is. And I see a simple solution, so I want to implement that solution, and then something way over here breaks as a result. So this event, the league, the event we're at right now, it's all the same way. Everything's more complicated than we think it is. Everything looks smooth and easy from our point of view. I know the AV staff here, the convention center staff, are all running around like their hair's on fire behind the scenes to make it all look beautiful for us. So please give a round of applause to the staff of the convention center who have made this so easy. And also, I know everyone before me has said it, I'm going to say it too, our league staff are freaking amazing. And I should thank them in every speech I ever give for every organization for the rest of my life, even things that have nothing to do with cities, because they're so good, and they do so much work, and they make me look so much smarter than I am. I can't thank you all enough, league staff. You're awesome, so thank you. And that brings me to city staff. And I know there's a bunch of you in the audience right now, various cities. We have city managers, we have attorneys, finance officers. I'm sure we've got police chiefs. I don't know who all we have in the room right now, but you guys, and I mean guys in the widest possible sense, males, females, it doesn't matter. When I use guys generically, you guys are all just so hugely important to all of us. And we stand up and people clap for us and we get to bore you to tears with speeches. And you all put up with it. Richard, I don't know how, because when I think back to me 10 years ago, or me 10 days ago, I don't know how you put up with me as well as you have. And so thank you to all city staff. You guys make all this work, and we take all the credit. So thanks for that. So I'm already almost out of time, but I'm going to use it anyway. So going forward this year, I have the luxury of being league president during a short session of the legislature, which means while there's still going to be a ton of work to do legislature-wise, because it turns out even in a short session, they can mess things up real good. But it's also going to give us the luxury of sort of consolidating the gains that have been made before me, in building relationships with our legislators, both in Salem and in Washington, and continuing to build and maintain relationships with our members all over the place. I expect this coming year I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling. My city, Cottage Grove, is in the Willamette Valley, and the Willamette Valley, it's really easy to get from there to Salem. It's a bit tougher if you're, say, in Ontario, Hines, McDermott. There are a lot of places where getting to Salem is a huge undertaking. And I want to make sure that we at the League, even though our headquarters are in Salem, that we are serving every single person, every city that we have, all 241 or 242, depending on how the court case comes out. We want to be there for all of you. So we're going to be doing some traveling. We're going to be coming and talking to you where you live. If you want to see us, let us know. If you don't want to see us, let us know that too. We'll probably come anyway because, you know, I'm stubborn, but it's really important that we're able to support all of your cities because you're why we're here. Without you, we don't have any jobs or cool hotel dinners or excuses to wear a tie. We need you, and we hope that you decide that we're worth keeping around. We want to do right by you, so please, please, please get in touch. Let us know what you need. Let us know what we're doing well. Let us know what you wish we were doing more of. We're here for you. And so my job as president this year is mostly to ride the coattails of those that have come before me and take all the credit. And I hope that by 2021, I haven't left this organization a smoldering ruin. We'll see how it goes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jake. I will say that 2020 is going to be an entertaining year for the League of Oregon Cities. Are there any other items of business for the good of the order? I don't see any hands going up. With that, the 2019 League of Oregon Cities Annual Business Meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.